I guess we're starting. Yeah, I have 5:59.
I do as well. I just didn't wanna.
Synchronized watches.
I'll play the role of that.
Look just like. Okay, so there it is, 6 o'clock. All right, 6 o'clock, I will call the meeting to order. The meeting is being recorded. If somebody in the audience is recording, please let us know so we can enter it into the record. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, flags to my left, your right. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and we're going to start by immediately going off agenda because we're waiting on some people still to show up, I think, here. So we'll move to number 2, which is a vote to approve the minutes of the April 20, 2022 open session meeting. Have all attendees had a chance to read it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And any objections or corrections to it? No. Nope. Okay. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as written.
So moved.
And I'm the second, I guess. And I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
You have to abstain, right?
Yep, 2 abstains.
Yes.
It's 2 affirmative.
I was
2
at the
abstain.
last meeting.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Who was it? You weren't?
202.
Oh, you weren't? I thought you weren't. Sorry. Okay.
No, I wasn't at the
all those
14th
opposed?
meeting.
And we have 2 abstains. Sorry.
202
Two
passes.
abstains. Yeah. Next up, we have the warrants, and that's going to be, yeah, I believe.
Reporting into the public record that Mrs. Cohen reviewed and approved the following school expense and payroll warrants. School expense warrant, April 28, 2022, $322,476.42. School payroll warrant for April 7th, $1,096,923.64. Adding these into the public record.
Thank you very much. Next up, we're going to go to our student representative update and recognition.
Stand up or-
You can do it from right there. You know, it's interesting, these two have not
They
been at a
traditionally
public
stand on the
meeting.
table, don't they?
You know, today, these two guys have not been at an actual live meeting as student reps. So welcome.
And goodbye.
Depending on how it goes. We'll see you later.
First, okay. So for the JCS, they started with their first annual Sea Turtle Day, which honors their new school mascot. It's really cute, and they raised enough money through a fundraiser to help fund and adopt 19 sea turtles that they will sponsor and take care of as their mascot. They're getting ready for the 6th grade Memorial Day concert, which is always fun. They also just started their first official field day tradition, which they've called the JCS Adventure Games. And so they have a ton of challenges, wipeout style stuff, which is fun. And then lastly, they have the JCS students walking through soon to do their tour of Norton as they finish out their Norton years. So
I'm going on that tour, but I didn't go to the JCS, so it's sad. So
Imposter.
I know for the LGN, they talked about what they're doing for the whole end of the year. Just kind of a little overview. So they're having the Scholastic Book Fair this week, and then next week is Kids Science Day, which I'm going to. Are you in science? Yeah. So then Malia will go to a later date. But on Tuesday, May 17th, a bunch of the Science Honor Society kids will be going and doing experiments with all the different kids and just kind of anything that we want to show them, but just a small 5-minute experiment. That should be really fun. And then there are a bunch of field days for kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade, and then field trips for 1st grade and 3rd grade. And then the 2nd grade Memorial Day concert is now being held outside, so they're excited for that with the nice weather. And 3rd grade, they're going to visit the Yale School to help with transition in September, Norton in September. And then Norton Games Day, they're going to take over for the Special Olympics. fun activities for them. You're up.
So for the Yale, they're planning stuff to help the third graders into their fourth grade, fifth grade transitions. They're planning activities for the fourth graders who are celebrating moving up to fifth grade. And then the Yale PTO is organizing the fifth grader send off, which is their little graduation, which is cute. And I don't know what this means, but it says Mr. Gagan and Mr. Balawa owe the students the kissing of an animal of their choice for meeting their booster-thon incentive. Can't wait to see the video of that this year. So take it as you
believe-
will.
I believe a couple of years ago, it was a pig. from
Yeah,
a friend at Cozy
typically been,
Creations.
it's typically been,
Yes.
so.
So I believe it is, they meet their goals for the fun run, and Mr. Bilal and Mr. Gagan.
I'd pick something
Oh.
crazy. I feel like,
I guess like,
Kiss a
like
whale.
yeah,
let's see that.
something you can't.
Yeah.
Where-
Good luck, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's,
Are we bringing in the whale? or
I
we
know, I
going-
was
They gotta
wondering
go find
where
it.
exactly would you find one?
It's called an
I guess-
NMP.
but that's all. Yeah.
So for the middle school, they're gonna have their first in-person band and chorus concert on the 17th in the auditorium. So that should be good. And then they will have a day of awesomeness courtesy of the Power of Purpose fundraising. So the day is going to have large inflatables, oversized lawn games, cash giveaways, music, and dancing and more. It kind of sounds like our April awesomeness dance that we used to have. And then our middle school production of Legally Blonde will be taking place June 9th and 10th. Tickets go on sale this weekend, so everyone go to Legally Blonde. And then they're super excited because the traditional 8th grade dinner dance will be taking place again, and it's a long-standing tradition for the middle school. So that will be happening soon. You want me to start in high school, I guess? All right, well, 9th grade had an ice cream social today because they had a success in the Parent Advisory Board fundraiser. And then we already talked about Science Honor Society, they're going to the elementary schools. Music students are off to the Great East Music Festival. And then I think they also have a field trip tomorrow to Six Flags.
Yeah, both on the same day.
And then seniors will have a field trip on to Six Flags June 1st. So that should be fun. And it's kind of like a little bring back to 7th grade when our class went to Six Flags. So that should be good. And then Senior Spirit Week kicks off on Monday and with different themes. Everyone's super excited for Everything But Backpack Day. So for those of you who don't know, kids bring in basically anything but a backpack. It's all over TikTok now. And so they'll bring in like a kayak and put their school stuff in it. Like it's so random. They'll bring in microwaves and stuff some pencils in it. It's really random.
They'll have a kid like follow them around and hold their stuff for them. Like a student.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. So we'll see what limits these kids will go to, but
Can't wait.
yeah. Definitely have some pictures of those. But yeah, that'll be good. And then we have the barbecue on the 23rd, I think. So that's for future day to see where everyone's going after high school. And then Department of Transportation will be on the site the week of May 23rd. We're taking a cohort of 19 Norton High School students through a career apprenticeship program. So that should be good. And then your class has a Spirit Week.
Yeah, we have our, we're seniors Spirit Week after the official seniors leave, take their place. And we also have for Rho Kappa, which is the History Honor Society, we're doing elementary, like historical tours around Norton, like showing them the different places in Norton and explaining the history and stuff. So that's coming up pretty soon. I think that's early June. So I think that's pretty much it for.
Do you have any good Spirit Week days?
We do. I just got the list. We have on Monday, we have USA Day. On Tuesday, we have Camo Day. Wednesday, we have Wild West. Thursday, we have Tie Dye. And Friday, we have Jersey Day. Then we get an ice cream party.
Oh, that'll be good. Okay.
What's the last week for seniors, like with all the activities?
It's next week.
So that's next week.
Yeah.
Scholarship night and all that?
Scholarship night is that's graduation, right? Okay. 31st, yeah. We'll send out a calendar. Yeah, it's, I'll make sure that the school committee gets a calendar of events with the senior stuff. Send it out.
Super nice to hear about things in person.
Yeah,
Really nice.
especially
Like a
the
sense of normalcy,
middle
so.
and high school stuff. So, want to talk about skip day? I mean, we know you went. What happened to that event?
Oh, we, as far as we know, we don't know if it happened.
You know what happened?
Apparently it wasn't sunscreen day.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
I thought the seniors.
They're getting ready for that spirit day.
So tonight is Zoe's, more than likely your last meeting because, her year ends right around the corner. So we want to recognize Zoe for her wonderful leadership, along with her colleague, of course, which we'll recognize her senior year, for a wonderful, being a wonderful student leader, besides being a fantastic young woman. I've gotten to know her a little bit, not only because of here, but she's on the advisory committee as well for me. So this is just a little bit, small little token, something for you to remember us with, after you're gone. And thank you for leading, for being a model student, and good luck next year.
Thank you. Yeah, this is great. I've loved doing this.
As always.
I'm gonna ruin the surprise. It's a picture of the school.
I can- It's a very, well, it's kind of a new way that we're doing things, and you're actually gonna be one of them.
Don't break your.
So when you are driving a car or something, you'll maybe think of NPS.
Thank
So
you.
what's it say?
School committee rep, 2020 to 2022. And it's nice to meet you.
So a little something. No, that is not blushing. Herman has been a long time blushing. It's at 6:30.
I gotta say, in all seriousness, thank you guys very, very much. The way that you guys conducted this it was different. And we like that right away. And I think we kind of encourage that. We got a little bit more of a sense of what people were thinking in the schools with some of the polls, et cetera. And that was great. It was a refreshing change from kind of what we'd had. It'd gotten a little boring, I think, and kind of stale. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for your time. both of you.
So Malia will stay
So
on.
great luck. Good luck to you. And Malia will see you next year.
Yeah, Malia will stay on, and Donald will be informed by me to select a member of the junior class to join, entering juniors or current sophomore, to join Malia. And we'll have that person on board, maybe by June, but definitely by the fall. Okay,
Cool.
thank you.
Awesome. All right. So next up, we're going to go back to the first number of the agenda. Something that is somewhat special to me. It's the recognition of the Norton High School gymnastics team. Are we going to have them all?
Yeah, we're gonna have them come on up. Coaches, please, as well.
Don't be shy. Come on up.
I'll do it from here, so that way you guys are the ones that are on the screen. So tonight we're here, thank you, Mr. Chairman, through your work as a parent as well, to recognize the Norton High School gymnastics team. And we want to provide first a team recognition for all of your achievements during the 21-22 winter gymnastics season. It's a small, very certificate from us that you guys hopefully can put up at the gym or here in school. So I'll give this to your coaches and your captains if they're here. Coaches. Come on, coach.
Yeah.
You can't.
Come, Emily, come on,
Coach.
please.
It's not that, I don't bite, I promise. So thank you so much. And we do also have 4 recognitions because of awards that were provided or recognitions. We have Carolyn LaSalle for excellence during the 21-22 winter gymnastics season for being recognized, as well as Emma, is it Lehan?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm working on these names, guys. I promise. For excellence as well. We have Liz Leanne. You guys are related. Just kidding. Or Elizabeth, also for being recognized, and with Zoe. And Zoe Duran also for excellence during the season. So I have certificates for the 4 of you here, and we'll talk a little bit about you in a second. And I believe that the chair has another recognition that maybe you want to bring up.
I do.
Okay.
So before I go into that, and I know some of you want to get speak this all, so alerts you probably know. But just so the gymnastics team is actually it's really special to me. I don't know if any of you know this. Zoe might know this. Zoe Durant, Zoe Abadisi, you probably don't even know this. But back in 2016, I reached out to the AD back then, it was Ted Curley, before Aaron's time, and asked him about forming a gymnastics team. So we didn't have a gymnastics team not that long ago. And I actually said, I'd like to get a gymnastics team started. I think there's interest. I knew there was interest because my friend down the street's daughter wanted to start it. And I not coincidentally had a little, at that time, 7 or 8 year old who was into gymnastics as well. And many of you probably know her. So I have a little bit of a unique perspective from this because I go to her practices and she goes to the club team that a lot of you guys go to. So I have gotten a chance over the years to see you guys work, see you practice. I've seen you guys when you are frustrated and struggling to get a skill, and I've seen you guys when you have gotten a skill and the joy you have. And more importantly, I've seen the support that your teammates give you when you struggle and the shared joy when you actually get a skill, a new skill. So it's kind of a different sport, right? Like there are a couple sports like gymnastics, but gymnastics is one of those sports where you're on your own and the team effort is really their support for you when you're out on the floor, on the beam, on the ball, on the bars, whatever it may be. So you see that because I've been to some of these meets and I've seen you guys cheer each other on relentlessly. And it's really touching to see. And honestly, like I'm super proud of you guys for the undefeated season. It's something that you'll hold in your hearts forever. But I'm more proud of you guys for the teammates you are to each other. I think that means the absolute world. You guys are the definition of teammates. It was really impressive to see. And I'll tell you, the last meet that you guys had when you finished the undefeated season, I honestly think I was, and Deb knows this, I was actually, I think, more excited than you guys were. when Vaughn announced the score, I cheered way louder than any of you guys did. You guys were like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, my God. I'm so excited for you guys. So Aaron will tell you, for the last 2 years, I've been telling him, like, listen, this team is gonna be really good. Like, I'm telling you, it's coming. Because I saw it coming up. I saw the people coming through the ranks, and I knew that it was just a matter of time before you guys, got to where you are today. So congratulations to you guys. I love the hard work, love the teamsmanship. And I think the thing that you were referring to was this right here, which I know to this point, I feel like you guys have been kind of the ignored sport of Norton, quite frankly. But no more. We finally got you what you're. Yeah, go ahead. We finally got you what you deserve, and that's a little recognition that, well, I've not seen this, by the way, so hopefully it doesn't say.
Yes, hopefully it's not wrong if it is the AD's fault. So as you know, we put up banners here in Norton for all of our stuff. But somebody just wants to hold it for me. But this will go in the gym, and I. Gymnastics team. Hey, I've been doing this. Why don't you guys, two of you guys hold it up over there so we can take some pictures of you. Go ahead, don't be shy. So as you guys are doing that, I'll read the formal stuff. Undefeated regular season, 8-0, 1 TVL championship, TVL coach of the year. Entered postseason with a state rank of number 7, 7th place team at the South section. Notable achievements. Liz Lehan, TVL All-Star. At TVL champs was second on uneven bars and 3rd place all around. Qualified for the state and New England individual championship on uneven bars and floor exercise. Entered the individual state championships as the number 1 seed on the uneven bars. Carolyn LaSalle, TVL All-Star, TVL vaulting champion, qualified to state individual champions on the vault as number 4 seed. Emma Lehan, TVL All-Star, at TVL champions, 3rd place on floor exercise, qualified to the state New England championships as an all-around. Sorry, the interpreters are going to kill me. for
No,
that.
you have, we
My
have to
apologies.
speak louder, they're having a hard time hearing us.
Set school record and named to the prestigious state 9.5 list by scoring a 9.5 or better 6 times. And Zoe Duran, TVL All-Star, at TVL champs was 2nd place on even bars, 3rd place balance beam, and 2nd place all around. Qualified to state and New England individual championships as an all-around. Placed 3rd out of 93 competitors on even bars at the New England championships. Chosen to represent Team Massachusetts at the Senior National Championships in Fort Myers, Florida. And winning, their season highlight was winning the meet against VR West Bridgewater, who had not lost a regular season meet in 7 years. I think I get it. Really proud of you. I think, Mr. As you say, Celeste, you say the best.
Yeah, two things before we let you go, because I know, again, you guys want to get back to practice. I believe that we're getting a second banner that
Yes.
will go into your home gym at O'Leary's. And Joe just reminded me, I would be remiss if I did not recognize Deb and Emily, the coaches, who did a fantastic job. And as the seniors know, and Zoe Abadijian, you've been there long enough to know as well, the wins were not frequent for a lot of years. And they just kept grinding, sticking to it. And, it's not just your talent, but it's their hard work too as well that got us here. So thank you. Couldn't appreciate you guys more.
And if I know the schedule for practices and everything else, thank you to the parents also driving back and forth at weird hours. I know because I'd be talking to Mr. Sylvester and drop-offs and pickups and all that stuff. I know it's one of those sports where not every place is available to you 24/7 right after school. So I know it takes extra time for the families to do all that and run around. So thank you to the families as well. Congrats. Finish the year strong. And listen, nobody's ever repeated. We did it the first time. Now we got to repeat.
Yeah,
No pressure.
can't wait to catch one of you gals at a gymnastics meet when I'm not busy with the other sports, because you did a good job, and number one fan can't wait to make a gymnastics meet one day.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thanks,
go back to
guys.
practice. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can give Mr. Sumner the banner. He'll take care of having
You went so fast. You can't really just have to-
Yeah, no, that's what I was. My wife is screaming at me.
Congratulations, Zoe.
No, not really.
My apologies to our interpreters and all around for my wicked fast reading. I am sorry. I need to do better. My fault.
All right, much appreciated that we could do that. So next up, we have the second reading and the vote to approve the non-discrimination and harassment policies. And before we go into that, Nick, are you comfortable with this? If you have enough chance to read through it, you can certainly ask questions right now, but.
Yeah, I've read through it. I'm
Okay.
probably abstaining, to be honest with you, just because.
Well, if you're not comfortable voting, I'm okay to hold this off too, because we actually have Sherry's missing as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's
Up to you.
approval, but, all right, did you have any questions on it? You wanted to ask
At the moment.
Okay,
So we're going to table.
yeah,
this.
we'll table this until the next meeting.
Okay.
All right, next up, we have the. No, thank you.
That was for tabling.
I thought you were cheering for me. Oh, sorry. I don't get cheered that often. Next up, we have the FY '23 budget update.
So just want to give you some general big picture. I'm not getting into specific line items tonight because we still don't have the formal vote from FinCom, town manager, and then town meeting. Town meeting's a little later this year, so that's a little problematic for the school department because we know we have a 15th cutoff date by state statute. But if we get all the business done on the 7th, then I'll be able to make decisions. At this time, I am announcing that I am not making direct teaching cuts to the classroom, subject to change, right? Because if the numbers change to the more negative, then I've got to get into this. We will be hitting what I would call essential staff, but not staff that is going to make a classroom size go up to 27 or something.
Not classroom
like that.
staff, more support staff.
Right, exactly. The second part is we're zeroing out a number of line items around expenses. A couple of them that we really need, but we're going to just have to figure out another way. This includes some line items that are somewhat concerning around contract services, but we're just going to say no and move from it and then wait to see if the summer things alleviate for us to be able to say yes. Right now, it is a recommended 2% increase. So
That doesn't even cover our.
that does not cover our mandates. Okay, so what we're trying to do is two things. We're kicking the can down the road another year with 500,000 in ESSER 3 funds that, as you all know, we did not want to use this year because We don't want it to be recurring. It's going to be recurring. Therefore, taking the recurring balance to around $2.8 million for the start of FY '24. That's a big nugget that we need to talk about. But nobody wants to talk about '24 yet. We're talking about '23.
We're gonna be limping through 23.
So, right, so what this does is, if you
Joe,
take,
can I ask a question on the
Yeah.
2.8? Does the 2.8 also include, the 2.8 is the assumed deficit?
it's
that we're looking at?
2.3 with another $500,000. Yeah,
But that's the assumed deficit we're looking at in 2024. Does that include the fact that we're not carrying over the school choice?
yes.
Okay.
That's your
So-
non-recurring revenue.
Not,
Right, okay, just want to make sure that we remember to.
Right.
Mhm.
So when you look at this, if you take the 500 and you need 900,000 in cut, it's like 915,000. I'm just saying 900,000 now. That means I got to find 4. So that's what we did. We found 4 by not hitting the classrooms, cutting a ton of line items. Contract services, I don't even know how we're going to be creative and work around them, but we'll figure out a way not to touch the classroom and meet all of our contractual requirements for personnel and so on and so forth. But we are going to have a discussion about the fall town meeting. There's no doubt about it, because this is this means your revolving accounts and your budgets are at 0 line items, which means people leave us, we might have some savings, we might see some of that. But on the other side of it, the big negative is 1 out of district placement, and we're in the whole 6 figures. So keep that in mind as we move forward. My concern with this budget is coming out of COVID and the continuation of trying to target students, not only getting to grade level because of they responded negatively, let's say. All the work that Dr. O'Neill's office with all of our interventions doing is working. We see data that it is working, but we still have some more work to do. Some of that is not going to be available. So I can see what's going to happen and project what's going to happen, which is what happened literally when I first got here, which was this idea that if we don't prevent, then you pay it on the other side, but you will pay. It's like taxes and dying. It's going to happen. So that's the concerning part about this. And so we will continue to work on this. I don't want to scare my staff. I don't want to scare parents. I don't want to scare the school committee. But we have some real unrealistic things that we need to really take a look at. We're going to continue to massage the budget as much as we can, but we could be potentially going back not only in the fall, but month after month after month to FinCom saying, what do you want us to do if we have a placement that comes from another state like we've had in the past, or a situation. Right now, the budget from the state doesn't look like it's going to grow any further. You are one, or we are one of 138 districts in the Commonwealth. That's SOA money, or Student Opportunity Act, is set at currently $60 per student. We may have some flexibility with the charter reimbursement. It's going up. And as you know, we have about 100 students, give or take, between all the charter schools, 69 of them at the local charter school. So that if that reimbursement rate goes up, that's more money into the coffers. There's an argument we could make there. Mr. Units is still trying to balance the budget right now. He was still short over $200,000 the last time I spoke, but he'd asked the FinCom and the selectmen not to cut further to try to figure out other ways to do it. So that's where we're at. That's the negative Nelly of the budget right now. And we will know some more in a few weeks when the final votes are taken. Then the June 7th town meeting, where I get a feeling there's going to be some debate about budgets. And then in between there, notifying staff. If they are non-union staff, I will notify probably before town meeting. I think if they're non-union staff, then I should give these people the opportunity to get another job if they can, sooner than later. So that would be my goal. Right now, I do not have union positions of any type within the cuts currently. Okay. So that's the negative Nelly about the budget.
All right.
Everything else is great.
Went from celebration to a funeral.
Yeah. Should we just for point of reference, I guess, in terms of the budget, obviously, the school committee has approved FY '23. You guys kind of handle working it with the town. Does it ever come back this way or no?
Yeah, so it's going to come back to you after town meeting for your final vote of implementation.
Gotcha.
So once town meeting is over, so let's, for argument's sake only, I don't want to scare anybody in another department. Let's say the school committee finds that there's a potential $50,000 somewhere and it wants to amend its budget on town meeting floor. It can do that. Now, typically, we try to go to town meeting floor with a lot of cohesion and everybody's happy, even though everybody's sad. So
We do.
yes, so, but the way I see it right now is that unless I hear something that, I can push Mike on, and the FinCom, I am going to FinCom Monday night. I'm sure they're going to want to hear some more specifics than this. I'm not getting into specifics until I really need to, which is typically, between now and town meeting, and then definitely after the town meeting. First meeting after town meeting, Nick, the committee votes its final budget, giving me authority to begin the implementation of that budget for July 1st. So that's where we can have some more discussions if need be. And sometimes the committee will ask questions beforehand of what if we cut this and not this and that type of stuff. You'll also have discussion on fees at that time, sports fees and transportation fees and preschool fees would all be back for discussion as well at that time, at least on the table. It may be that the committee decides not to act on it, which is fine.
Which we didn't.
Which we have not. We've actually gone the other way. We've frozen preschool because of COVID and felt like charging more with less services was not a good idea, which I would agree. And eight that six-figure number. And that's what people have to remind themselves is that we've had to zero out revolving accounts and so forth to take care of those bills, so we don't go back to town meeting asking for $600,000 or $700,000. But that's the scenario that we're in.
So when do we get our final, do we get a heads up before town meeting?
Yeah, so there's a vote coming out. It was just announced last night and I didn't take it down, but there's a FinCom meeting vote. I don't know if there's a public hearing on the budget.
May 23rd.
23rd
at 7
Okay,
p.m.
thank you, Peter. So they'll have a FinCom meeting Monday that we're going to. The 23rd is the public hearing, so that's been posted for a couple of weeks. At that public hearing, that's the kind of it. Now, FinCom can change anything until it sits down on the town meeting floor. And they have. There's been situations of emergency situations where that's happened. Or the school committee notifies the FinCom of its, or in the select board of its actions on town meeting floor, which I don't anticipate, but that's happened once before.
And of course, the townspeople could decide on their own.
The townspeople can actually pass an unbalanced budget.
Always the town's vote.
Always the town's vote, and the town has the right, I remember Bill Govea saying it all the time, the only body that can actually pass an unbalanced budget is town meeting. Not a good idea, by the way, because then your tax rate is a problem, and in order to establish a tax
You
rate.
can find
and
that
all
money
that.
somewhere.
But you still gotta find it somewhere, right? So,
But, and I'm not trying to scare anyone either. The FinCom's budget that it presents at town meeting is a suggestion. The only reason that it presents a budget is because we have to have something to vote on, or at least a starting point to vote on. It can always be amended by any citizen of the town at any time during that town meeting. So I'm not saying that we should. I'll jump on my soapbox here. I've said for a long time that we go about our town budget the wrong way. We tend to go in there and try and do everybody's happy, but everybody's sad, instead of making hard decisions. And I think at some point, the town is going to have to make hard decisions. And that decision process needs to start while these budgets are being formed before it gets to town meeting. We shouldn't be getting to town meeting, jumping up and amending things. We should make these hard decisions in these committees, in the boards, et cetera, and come to the town with a good financial fiscal plan going forward. And I don't think we do that, quite frankly.
So just out of curiosity, I know we have to close our books on June 30th. How does that affect the other town departments? They keep going?
no, everybody puts together a kind of a closeout, if you will, and then that actually
Ours is
goes.
a hard stop because.
Right,
of
it actually,
contractual-
so you project into basically payments through June 30th that you actually don't carry out until 2 weeks later.
Yeah, so we actually, the technical closings were allowed until June 15th, but everything has to be marked by June 30th. So, or July 15th.
So for example, we project out 40,000 to the electrical bill, and that may come in at 36,000. Then that money would become potentially money that goes back to the general fund as free cash.
Yeah. And we do our best to forecast what that number is going to be, not knowing what the actual bill is going to be. So occasionally that money will return back to the town in small increments, $10,000, $20,000.
I forward you the FinCom meeting as well for Monday night if you wish to attend.
Thank you.
the 16th, the 16th is the big one.
What's on the 23rd?
23rd is the public hearing.
Can we, looking forward, possibly before the end of the year, have Train come in and do an update on the projects? Because I know a lot of the townspeople were curious over break about what was going on at the schools and things like that. So maybe we can get them in for an update prior to the end of the school year.
I'll have both Train and Gail come in.
Okay.
I'll set them.
You want to make sure a school committee meeting?
And then maybe we can put something out to the town as like a press release or something, because
Happy
I
to
know
do
there
it.
was a lot of buzz about what's going on at the schools during vacation. There's all these holes and deliveries and everything else. And I was assuming it was the carports, but I was just assuming myself.
They were. You're correct.
Okay. Do we have any other questions on the budget?
No.
Okay, seeing no other questions, we'll move on to other business. Does anybody have any other business?
I have one quick item I just wanted to bring up. We were going to do a fee increase for food services this year. We're holding off on bringing that forward at this point in time because we know that there's money that has been put into the state legislation to possibly fund another year of free lunch and breakfast for schools. So we don't want to move forward with a price increase until we kind of know where that sort of lands at this point. However, if that doesn't land, we will be coming forward with a 25-cent price increase on all meals.
What's the cost now?
Right now, it's at 3 and 3 1/4, so we'll go up to 3 1/4, 3.50. It's been 2 years since our last price increase. Inflation certainly has caught up with that.
Yeah, no, I imagine.
When is that decision potentially
Yeah.
going to come?
That could be pretty late. It could be as late as the end of July before we find out what the budget
But
is. And
potentially before school year starts.
Definitely, I think we're going to hear about it before school starts. They seem to be moving a little quicker this year, so I'm feeling a little bit better about when we're going to be notified. So we'll definitely, we might have to call a meeting during the summer just to get that pricing and make sure we're all set. But hopefully the money's in there and we can do another year. It's been extremely helpful. Our participation rate has grown to over 60% in all of our schools. Pre-COVID, we were seeing anywhere from 15 to 20% per school. So people are eating, kids are eating, they're getting food, makes for better
At the high
brains.
school, it's become sort of a social opportunity
Yeah.
too. They're coming in for breakfast and they're enjoying their kind of friends and their company. It's
Yeah.
really nice. For so long, they were so isolated and separate.
Yeah.
It's
also nice that they don't have to think about food. They
right.
can just come in, they can get it, don't have to worry about, do I have money in my account, do I have money in my pocket? It's a wonderful program. We really wanted it to continue. We were hoping for 2 more years. The feds decided not to fund it. State's moving forward and we're going to see if we're going to actually get a year and then we'll lobby again. So I know Masville's pushing for it, MESS, MASC, everybody's pushing for it. So
Yeah, it's a great program.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
Any other business? No? All right, seeing none. Next up on the agenda is executive session. So I'm going to just announce that our next meeting is scheduled for May 26th, back at our original and usual spot, the Norton Middle School Library. And currently, we're going to vote to go into executive session for the purposes of discussion, contract negotiations with various unions, not to return to open meeting. I would entertain a motion such. So,
Second.
all those in favor?
Roll
Sorry,
call,
Sorry,
roll call.
and I just talked to Nick about this. All those in favor, Mr. Schleicher,
Yes.
Mr. Sheedy,
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher,
Yes.
and Mr. Samas is yes. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.